The mission is simple: to help high achievers naturally eliminate emotional and physical obstacles so they can optimize their life for higher achievement. Welcome. You have just entered the Genesis Zone. Good day, and welcome to the Genesis Zone show. This is Dr. Brian Brown. Thank you, a genuine thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on this, what is in my neck of the woods, a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. So, holiday stress. Does anybody know what that feels like? Surely, if you're human, if you're an adult, you have dealt with holiday stress at some point in your life. For some people, it's more severe. For other people, it's not anything but just a passing, fleeting thing that happens around the holiday season. However, the holiday season can be one of the most stressful times for families, and we're going to be talking about managing stress today. The holiday season is often painted as a time of joy and celebration and gathering with loved ones. However, for many, it can also be a period marked by increased stress, anxiety, and relationship tension. Between the festive preparations, family dynamics, and the pressure to make everything perfect, it's no wonder that the holiday spirit can sometimes feel more like a holiday storm. But fear not, with a bit of mindfulness and strategic planning, it's entirely possible to navigate these challenging issues and reclaim the joy of the season. Here are 5 ways to manage holiday stress and keep relationship drama at bay. First of all, is set realistic expectations. The holidays don't have to be perfect, or they don't have to be just like last year or the year before that. When you have losses in your life, whether it's someone moving on or whether you've lost a loved one, and this is the first holiday without that, it's okay to do things differently if that's what you choose to do. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can look non-typical. There are a lot of people who do non-typical holiday celebrations. For example, instead of stuffing and turkey and all the fixings and trimmings that go along with that, a lot of times I find people doing things like steak and lobster or shrimp and things like that around the holidays. And that's perfectly fine, because that just tells me that people are able to adjust and modify based on what's going on in their personal lives. As families change and grow, traditions and rituals also change along the way. Choose a few to hold on to for sure, but be open to creating new ones. Remember, perfection is often the enemy of good. Hear me when I say that again. Perfection is often the enemy of good. By setting realistic expectations for your holiday gatherings and events, you can reduce the pressure you put on yourself and others, for that matter. Number 2, plan and prioritize. Before the holiday season gets into full swing, take some time to decide what activities are essential to you and which activities are optional, because things will happen. And if you've got this whole list of things that you want to get accomplished in this one day or this 2 days of gathering together with family, and they don't happen, it can be a big letdown for you. So planning ahead of time and prioritizing those few things that are like, okay, the family picture that we do every year in front of the fireplace or out back in the backyard with the wooded backdrop, whatever it is, if that thing's a non-compromise for you, then put it at the top of your list. But those things that are optional, identify those things right now instead of identifying them in the moment. Plan your days accordingly to leave some room for spontaneity and relaxation. That is critical around the holidays. I think we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of things, and words get said that shouldn't be said, and hurt feelings arrive on the scene, and it just creates this perfect storm for a non-relaxing day, and definitely non-spontaneous. And we want to interject that spontaneity and relaxation in there. So plan accordingly and leave room for that relaxation and spontaneity. Prioritizing and organizing can significantly reduce the stress of last minute rushes and overcommitment. Number three, practice mindfulness and self care. Amidst the hustle and bustle that the holidays bring into our life, take time for yourself. I can't emphasize this enough, and so many people do not do this. Engage in activities that relax and recharge you. This might include yoga, meditation, going to the gym and working out, a walk in the woods or a walk in the park, reading a book, or simply taking a quiet walk down your street. Mindfulness practice can help you stay grounded and calm, making it easier to handle stress and navigate complex relationship dynamics. And I'm going to share with you at the very end two bonus items that I debated on whether or not to include there because they're a little physical in their activity, but I'll explain that in a minute. And they fall in this mindfulness self-care category. And one of them you can definitely do in the moment when you're experiencing stress. And I'll explain that in a minute. Number four, communicate openly and set boundaries. Clear communication is vital in any situation, at work, at home, in your everyday coming and going life, especially vital during the holidays. Express your needs and feelings calmly and clearly to family and friends. Also, don't be afraid to set boundaries. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to events or traditions that cause undue stress or discomfort. Did you hear that? It's okay to say no to events that you've been invited to. And it's okay to say no to even traditions, longstanding traditions that cause undue stress or discomfort. I know one of the things that when our children got old enough to begin having children of their own, and they came to us and said, "Hey, we're going to do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at our house with our child." And I totally respect and honor that. That's one of the things that we chose to do when we were raising a family, and it caused a lot of ripple effect through the family because the tradition has always been to go to my grandmother's house on Christmas Eve and spend that night and have Christmas morning there. So whatever your ritual is, it's okay to say no to that. It's okay to change that for you. Just communicate that clearly and compassionately with the people that you love. If they don't necessarily understand that or they get offended because of that, you know what? I have to be honest with you. That's something that they have to take ownership for. It doesn't mean that you take on the shame and guilt and feel bad about changing the tradition. No, this is a choice that you get to make as an adult, as an informed adult for your family. And you can do that. Number five, seek support and share responsibilities. Remember, you don't have to do everything alone. Share your to-do list with family members and friends. Delegating tasks not only lessens your load, but can also be an opportunity for bonding. Believe it or not, yes, even with your teenage children in the home, as much as they may roll their eyes or huff at you in disgust, it's really an opportunity for bonding. And it's in our family, it's some of those opportunities that since our kids are adults now, we've learned that, yeah, even though they gave us a little resistance as teenagers, it's some of the most fond memories that they talk about to this day. If holiday stress becomes overwhelming, don't hesitate to reach out for support to a really close friend, to a clergy person, even a professional. If you see a professional person for counseling or something like that, it's not going to hurt to do that. In fact, and being in the mental health space, I would say that around the holidays, things tend to ramp up around in therapy issues around dealing with family and dealing with holiday stress. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this episode. So I want to share with you two bonus things that you can do in the moment. One of them takes a little bit of prep time beforehand. So what I want you to do, if you're listening, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to find that place that's your happy place. It could be holding your favorite pet. It could be holding your favorite loved one. It could be taking a walk in the woods or on the beach or swimming in the ocean or just simply sitting under a cabana at the ocean or sitting in a hammock underneath a tree at your house. Whatever the case may be, wherever your happy place is, I want you to tap into that right now. And I want you to grasp hold to that. I want you to tell me what you hear. I want you to tell me what you see. I want you to tell me what you're smell, your sense of touches. Is there a breeze blowing across your skin? Do your thoughts, let's check in with your thoughts. Do your thoughts feel racing? Do they feel kind of fluffy and ethereal? Do they feel happy or sad? Or do they feel kind of elated? Check in with yourself, tap into that emotion of where you are in that happy place. And the next thing I want you to do, I want you to take your non-dominant hand and I want you to place it over your heart. And then I want to take your other hand and place it on top of that hand. This is a grounding technique or an anchoring technique. As you're in this feel good moment, I want you to press in to your chest over your heart with that non-dominant hand and the other hand on top. Just press into your chest. And I want you to feel that feeling that you feel with that pressure. You feel that? You feel how good it feels. It almost feels kind of like a hug. Yeah, that's the feeling we're looking for. That's an anchoring technique. So go ahead and release that posture. Go ahead and open your eyes. And when you're in the midst of any situation throughout the holiday season, whether you're riding as a passenger in a car or on the subway or on a bus, or you're on an airplane, whatever the case may be, wherever you're experiencing stress, I want you to just close your eyes. I want you to go back to your happy place. And I want you to just put your hand, your non-dominant hand over your heart. And I want you to give gratitude for that happy place. I know it sounds hokey. It sounds kind of woo-woo, but there's a lot of science behind what I've just asked you to do. Okay. Giving gratitude for those places of peace. That is a resource for us. In fact, in psychology, it's called resourcing. We're able to tap into those places in our own mind, in our own environment, whether it's internal environment or external environment, that are happy places for us, that bring up happy emotions. And when you're in the midst of the throes of the holiday season and everything's coming at you and you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed out, even if you can't be in a place where you can close your eyes, you can definitely put the non-dominant hand over your heart and continue driving if that's what you're doing with the other hand. And just ground yourself in that moment and think back, even with your eyes open, think back to that happy place. So that's one extra bonus tip for surviving the holidays and mastering stress like a pro. The other one is strictly just a posture. I call it the vagus nerve reset posture. Now, the vagus nerve reset posture, we're not really sure how old it is. We know it's thousands of years old, and we know it comes out of Asia Minor in that area. So this posture has to do, if I had you here in person, I would do it a little bit differently. But since I don't have you here in person, I want you to take your non-dominant hand, and I want you definitely cannot be driving when you do this. Place your non-dominant hand over your dominant hand over your non-dominant hand, just wrist to wrist like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing right here. And then for those of you who are not watching, I'm simply crisscrossed my wrist on top of each other, kind of making an X with my arms at the wrist, with the wrist being the center point of the X. And my dominant hand is on top. And then I'm going to ask you to turn both thumbs down to the ground where you're palm to palm like this. If you're watching, if you're just listening, you can still do exactly what I'm describing. And then lace your fingers together. And then you can pull that up into lotus position, like a meditation position, into your chest, or you can simply put them down into your lap. And then I want you to take your dominant foot, your dominant ankle, and place it over the non-dominant ankle. Okay. I'm standing right now doing this presentation, so it's a little bit difficult for me to do. But with your dominant wrist on top, palm to palm, thumbs down, fingers laced in, and then place your dominant ankle on top of your non-dominant ankle. And I want you to sit with that posture. Go ahead and close your eyes as you're sitting in that posture. And I want you to feel the shift in your nervous system. What do you notice? Do you notice that your breathing slows down a little bit? Do you notice that your heart rate slows down a little bit? Do you notice that there's just a relaxation in the shoulders. Maybe the muscles in your back lose the tension that they've been holding. Maybe the tension throughout your chest just kind of relaxes. I have people describe all kinds of different things that occur. I've even taught this in lectures, and I've had people come up to me afterwards and said, I was having pain in my neck from sleeping on the hotel mattress last night and using the hotel pillow, not my own pillow. And my neck was hurting this morning. And after that exercise, the pain in my neck is completely gone. That's how powerful resetting the vagus nerve is. So if you're in one of those places, and you can use this technique any place, anytime. You can use it with any age person. I've actually used this in the pediatric inpatient unit with kids as small as age 9. That's the youngest patient I've ever treated in an inpatient unit, but I've used it with kids age 9 and above, and they respond very, very readily to it. So if you've got a child that's having a meltdown, help them. If they're right-handed, get into whole brain posture, or this posture that with the dominant side on top, with their wrist and their ankles, and just have them close their eyes and help walk them through maybe a little bit of breathing. Say, breathe with me, and do a slow inhale in, slow exhale out. We call that square breathing. 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Little people may be able to do 3 and 3. You get the idea. Adjust it for them. But then you can do this with yourself as well. So if you're at that place where you're feeling kind of panicky, overwhelmed, you can go to the bathroom, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, and literally sit there in the bathroom in this vagus nerve reset posture and totally radically make a shift, a state shift in your body, physically, emotionally, mentally. And it occurs very, very quickly. Don't be afraid to sit in this posture if you need to for a few seconds or a few minutes, 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. If you're sleeping away from home through the holidays, as a lot of people have a tendency to do as they travel, and you're having a hard time falling asleep, you can literally lie in bed and put yourself in this posture, this vagus nerve reset posture, and it will literally help you go to sleep. That's how well it works also. So for high stress situations, for sleep issues, for kids that are having meltdowns, for yourself that's having a meltdown, this is the posture to use. The other technique was more of a grounding type anchoring technique that will reground you to a sense of well-being and joy. This technique is more of an emergency or urgent care technique to pull you out of those high anxiety, high stress situations. So wrapping up, while the holiday season can bring its share of stress and drama, it also offers a unique opportunity to create joy, deepen relationships, and make cherished memories. And dare I say, it also opens up the opportunity for you to discover new areas of your own self, discover new ways in which you can self-regulate and create a state shift in a positive direction for yourself. By adopting these strategies, you can transform the holiday stress that we've been talking about into a more manageable and even enjoyable experience. Remember, the true essence of the holiday season lies in connection, kindness, and the simple joys of just being together. As the holiday season approaches, let's remind ourselves and others to approach it with a sense of balance and mindfulness. That wraps up today's episode of the Genesis Zone Show. If this deep dive into managing the holiday stress like a pro has resonated with you, please, I urge you, share this one. I think of all the episodes that I do every year, and I try to do one similar to this every year, this is one of the more important ones, and it can really help a lot of people navigate through the holidays more easily and more effectively. So please spread this knowledge by sharing this episode with a loved one. Until next time, most informed, most trusted, and most grateful that we spent this time together today here on the Genesis Zone Show. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay inspired, and stay in the zone.